Hello friends, in this video we will talk about smart contracts. Now, what is this smart contract? It is a technology which is emerging in the blockchain, and you might have heard about the concept of blockchain in the Web3 world. So in this video we will talk about everything about smart contract. It will give an overview of the smart contract blockchain and the related technologies about it. So let's deep dive into it. So before talking to the smart contract, let me talk about Web 1. So in the Web 1, when internet was emerging in the 1990s, uh, there were the static websites, right, which we can see and read the content. And this content was owned by companies, and these are created by companies. Whereas in Web 2, in the early 2000s until the like basically recently, what is happening? Many companies emerged where the data is owned by companies, but it is created by people. For example, the Facebook, YouTube, where all the content is created by the users of these platforms, and whereas the ownership lies with the companies. They control a lot of things on that data. They can do anything on that data. They can process it. They can use that data to uh, market the products to you, because they know in and out of the data, so they can do some activities which is not liked by people. Basically, the privacy issues emerge here. Because of that, the lot of movements are going, and some guidelines has been created, some rules are coming. For example, in Europe, the GDPR regulations comes, where that control the data of the users, and these need to be followed by the companies. And recently the AI is creating the models, and these models are trained on the data which is lying on the internet. Now there are few concerns are raised by the creator of this data, that their data is used without their permission for to train these models. So all this are becoming a force for emergence of Web3. Now in Web3, what happens? The data is created by people and owned by people. There is no company or central agency which is owning this data. And this is possible because of the technology called blockchain. So basically what the blockchain is, consider there are many nodes connected together, and these nodes are general people who have connected through some protocol, and they maintain a ledger, and this blockchain is that ledger. Ledger is what? A kind of register where it maintains all the transaction between the two parties. The beauty of this ledger is it cannot be mutated. It is unmutable. So once things is written on it, you cannot modify it. But if you want to revert it, then you have to do a second transaction. For example, there are two people, A and B. A transfer 10 rupees to B. Then B also needs to transfer 10 rupees in case it needs to be reverted. So both these entries will come. Now this concept initially used for cryptocurrencies, by especially by the first currency, which is Bitcoin, right? Then Ethereum comes, and Ethereum network basically utilizes blockchain technology for general purpose for many other use cases. And these use cases are DeFi, decentralized finance, and NFTs, basically non-fungible tokens, or tokenizing any real world physical products as a fungible tokens. I'll talk about all these terms, and maybe then DAOs, decentralized autonomous organization, blockchain based games. So many use cases are coming based on this blockchain technology. So let's talk about these terms first. So DeFi is decentralized finance, where it means in normal finance, what happens, there is a bank, right, which verify all the transactions and is a central piece in all the transaction when it is happening through banks. Governments control the currencies. They control the value of the currency, its liquidity. So there are some central agency, and to deal remove all these things, so that no central or one entity will manage these things. Things are emerging for decentralized, and in the decentralized, blockchain is creating that platform. Blockchain basically is maintained on these different nodes, so no central government or bank can interfere with it, and the transaction which is happening needs to be validated by other folks. So there is a consensus mechanism, and these consensus mechanism determine if any transaction is valid or not. If somebody wants to try some mischief activities, like uh, they just write something on the blockchain, then and it is not verified by other nodes, then it is rejected. And this consensus mechanism makes sure that it happens. Similarly, there are NFTs. NFTs are non-fungible tokens, which means uh, let's say there is a painting, right, and it can be tokenized. Tokenized means it is given some hash which is unique to this painting, and then this painting can be solved for sold for to other person, and that transaction of selling is also written in blockchain. So the ownership will be transferred, right? That will make sure that um, the owner will not be owner should be given the right ownership and uh, basically the permissions, right? And these are unique, whereas fungible tokens are the tokens which can be transferred. For example, the stocks, right? If you own this 10 stocks of one company, and if you transfer these to another person, these 10 stock doesn't uh, have the like the unique identity. So there are other stocks, let's say thousands of stocks, and these are just a pool of this, right? We can't differentiate. But in case of paintings, which is non-fungible tokens, um, each painting has its own different identity. And DAOs are basically decentralized autonomous organization, where all the members of that organization are unique, and they contribute to that organization, and it is maintained on the blockchain. So many use cases are coming in, especially in the finance, in gaming world. This blockchain technology is changing the way people are working in these particular sectors, and all these things are part of the blockchain, but it is done through smart contract. So basically, what the contract is, let's say there are two parties, right, A and B, and they agree on something to make a deal, and there are few rules: rule 1, rule 2, rule 3. And if these conditions met, then the transaction will happen. So basically, this smart contract makes sure that any transaction happened or not, or happened. So what are the different rules? And this can represent basically some assets like tokens, NFTs, or cryptocurrencies. Also some processes, basically, which defines all the rules. So these are the digital assets, digital documents, and having some address hashes, and these are stored on the blockchain. So for example, you and I agree for doing some transaction. Let's say if I transfer 10,000 rupees to you, then you will transfer some painting to me, right? Now there are few conditions. I should have 10,000 rupees in my account, right? And if that is true, then I can transfer to your account, and then you should be the owner of that painting. Then you can transfer to me. So there are few rules and few preconditions which has to be met before the smart contract, the contract like happens between you and me. These rules are codified in this contract and stored in the blockchain, right? So these are basically few rules. Now, two-person, you and I, come and execute on this. I will execute some functions of this contract. Now, how do I know what functions are available in this contract? This is through ABI, Application Binary Interface. So this application in binary format, basically it provides some interfaces for the some front ends, and this front end can be web app or mobile app, right? This will contact through this smart contract, and through ABI it knows what are the interfaces available, and then based on that it will execute those things. So all the Web3 is powered through the smart contract. It is very important to learn the smart contracts um, in and out, so that you can make very good application based on Web3 technologies. And what languages are used to write the smart contract? The most popular one is Solidity, but it is not alone. There are many. For example, Viper, other is Cairo, and Rust. There are many more, but most popular is Solidity, and um, like majority of the people are using this. And so many contracts are also available. Their codes are available so that you can use as it is. And these contracts cannot have bugs, because it is once written in the blockchain, then it cannot be changed. Either you have to create a new contract then. So um, so basically, if you want to master Web3 development, then you have to first learn the smart contract, and for that master the Solidity language, and try to understand how it make the transactions, and how we can put the smart contract in the blockchain, and all the in and out around that technology. There are many more concepts like oracles for the Web3 applications, for providing the off-chain data to on-chain transactions or calculations. and on this any transaction, any calculation which is happening on the blockchain is very costly. So most of the heavy duty work needs to be done on outside the blockchain. Only the core pieces where the trust is minimized and we want to maintain that trust in the during the transaction has to be done on the blockchain, so that that information will remain on the blockchain and can be used for future, for making sure that things are done in a proper way. So I hope this video has given a good understanding about the smart contract, Web3, and blockchain. This is the very basic understanding about these concepts, and in future videos we will go more deeper in one of these concepts individually, and then explore more around the Web3 world. So with this note, I will take a leave. Thank you.